Tennessee Titans fans, we've got a report out there. We've got a report that could be meaningful to Tennessee Titans fans. I'm just going to read you the tweet that is a part of that report, and you can make up your own mind. But let me just show you the report that's out there from Diana Russini. First of all, we know Diana Russini well, okay? Tennessee Titans fans are well acquainted. Ain't got nothing against Diana Russini. Ain't got nothing against her. She said, I'm told that representatives for Texas coach Steve Sarkisian have let NFL decision makers know that he would be interested in potential head coach openings, including the Titans. So, first of all, Steve Sarkisian's team or whatever has put out a statement that any reports about him having discussion with the NFL is false. And I mean, what else is he going to say? He's in the middle of a football season with the Texas Longhorns right now. You're not going to come out and be like, yeah, I said it. Like, no, you're going to come out and be like, no, I'm only focused on Texas. That's what you're going to say. Now, this could very well be a part of him trying to get leverage with Texas to get them to pay him more, but the problem is he just signed an extension or a big deal with Texas in January. So I don't know about that. But the fact that it mentions including the Titans, it specifically mentioned the Titans, which would indicate there is interest from Steve Sarkisian in being potentially the next head coach of the Tennessee Titans if it were to come to that. Now, I feel like the only reason the Titans were specifically mentioned by name is because they're the only team so far that's fired their head coach. They're the only team that we know for sure will be looking for a new head coach this offseason. Like that, so I think that might be the main reason why the Titans by name got specifically mentioned. But Steve Sarkisian, what do you think? What do you guys think about Steve Sarkisian as the next head coach of the Tennessee Titans? Now, when it comes to college football coaches transitioning to the NFL, obviously we have seen it work out many times with guys like Pete Carroll, Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh went from the NFL back to college, then back to the NFL. But we have seen it work out many times where college football coaches go on to have success in the NFL. I just don't think the Tennessee Titans are even in position to do something like this right now. Because this would be a risk. Anytime you bring in somebody who's only coached college football to coach in the NFL, it's a risk. Remember Urban Meyer in Jacksonville? Even Nick Saban, the great Nick Saban, was the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. And even though he might be the greatest college football coach of all time, it didn't exactly translate to the NFL with the Dolphins. It's a risk. And are the Tennessee Titans really in a position as an organization to take a risk like this right now? With Cam Ward, who's going to be coming out of his rookie year, you want to take a risk on a guy who's never coached in the NFL, who's only coached at the college level, or head coached at the college level, and now you're going to bring him in? Yeah, there's intrigue there. He's had great success in college football, but, I mean, that's risky. That's even more risky than going with a first-time head coach like Joe Brady or somebody like that who's already a coordinator in the NFL. That's risky. And I just don't think that's what the Titans need to be doing right now. I stand by what I've said so far as regards to the next head coach. I think the Titans need a stabilizer. I think the Titans need a proven commodity like a Mike McCarthy or somebody like that who has experience, who can come in and do this job, and you know they can right the ship. They can at least calm the waters with all of the dysfunction. There is a chance if you go with a guy like Steve Sarkisian, who's been coaching at the college level, there is a strong possibility it could get even more dysfunctional because he could be the next Urban Meyer. He could be the next college football coach who's good at college football, but it's super risky to me. I know it gets headlines and it gets attention and whatever, but it's just so risky. And, I guess if the Titans were to interview him and it turns out to really, he impresses them or whatever, I mean, that's one thing, but also Brian Callahan really impressed him. So I don't know if I even take their word for it. I just, knowing what we've seen from Mike Borgonzi and Chad Brinker so far, they do not strike me as the type of guys who would do this. With where this organization is right now, roster-wise, it's topsy-turvy. You're 4-20 and probably after tomorrow 4-21 in your last however many games. Like, it's just a disaster right now. And to hire a college football coach to try to make the jump right now feels, that feels riskier than anything. That feels riskier than Matt Nagy. That feels riskier than Arthur Smith. That feels riskier than Joe Brady. That feels riskier than any of that. Because you want to talk about question mark of all question mark. At least we know Joe Brady has called plays in the NFL, which is more than Brian Callahan could say. I don't know, man. I know there are going to be people who are intrigued by it because it's a notable name and it would be something to get people talking, but I just think that's a huge risk for the Tennessee Titans. And if the Titans are crazy, I don't even want to say this. I don't want to say this because some of y'all are going to fall out of your chair. But like, if the Titans are just going to be crazy and take a huge risk in the middle of all of this dysfunction, if they just want to go all out and take the risk of all risk and hire a college football coach to come coach in the NFL, bro, I'll tell you who I'd be more intrigued by, because at least it would be kind of fun. I'm sorry, y'all, but I think Lane Kiffin would at least be some fun. Like, if you're going to take a risk on a college football coach, I would at least feel like Lane Kiffin would be kind of fun. I don't know if it would work out. It would be the risk of all risk, but at least he would bring some personality. But I don't want to, I really am not crazy about hiring somebody who's been coaching college football, because sometimes an organization can be in a position to take a risk like that. But the Titans and where they're at right now, they're at the bottom. Their roster's not good. They've got a young quarterback that they have got to get good around quick. They're poorly coached. There's no culture. Hiring a guy from college football is just so risky. And the only way that I could really be talked into it right now is if the Titans start interviewing people and Mike McCarthy just doesn't want to come here, or Cliff Kingsbury just doesn't want to come here, or whoever these other coaching candidates are that are experienced just don't want to come here. And you're kind of out of options, out of good options, okay, then maybe at that point I'd be willing to hear it out. But right now, it just feels risky. Risky. Talk to me about it in the comments. Steve Sarkisian, tighten up. Bye.